Recently, a Taiwanese singer released a song called Counterattack Mainland, which reflects the feelings of many people who oppose the Chinese Communist Party's rule. The rapper Chen Po-yuan was once a popular influencer in mainland China and a supporter of the CCP, known as a Little Pink. Today, we'll take a look at Chen Po-yuan's journey and what caused his change in perspective. But before we do, we would like to invite you to subscribe. Your support is our greatest motivation and allows us to bring you more valuable content. Now, moving on. I've loved practicing martial arts since I was a kid. I was really naughty, and my family couldn't control me. So when I was 13, they tricked me into going to a Shaolin Temple martial arts school in mainland China, where I stayed for 2 years. At the school, someone who took care of me told me he could arrange for me to study at a university in China called Overseas Chinese University. I didn't know that Huaqiao University was connected to the CCP's United Front Work Department. And I didn't even know what the United Front was. Young people in Taiwan don't really know about these things. In 2018, when I was studying at Overseas Chinese University, all the propaganda I heard made China sound amazing. I thought Xi Jinping was great and even set his photo as my phone wallpaper. I really admired him. For a long time, the Chinese Communist Party has given us brainwashing-style education. The CCP's education taught us to hate Japan, oppose the US, and believe in the great rejuvenation of the Chinese nation. We were told to support the 1992 consensus and encouraged young people in Taiwan like me to be proud to be Chinese. At that time, Chen Po-yuan, who had been fully influenced by the CCP's United Front Department, was a strong supporter of the Chinese Communist Party, a Little Pink. But in 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic broke out, he stopped his studies and returned to Taiwan. That's when he began to learn the truth and rethink his previous beliefs. He says that period was the most painful experience of his life. When I returned to Taiwan, I found out that the CCP's strict lockdowns during the pandemic caused the deaths of so many people. Xi Jinping's wrong policies turned a group of people who were once living well because of China's reform and opening up into what they are now. I began to dig deeper into the truth. Mao Zedong's Great Leap Forward caused the deaths of over 40 million people. I compared it to the Second World War, where Japan caused about 20 million deaths and injuries. But Mao's mistakes, along with the Great Famine and the Cultural Revolution, led to at least 80 million deaths and the persecution of over 100 million people. This made me start questioning everything I had supported. Was what the Chinese Communist Party said and promoted really true? It wasn't until 2024, while I was serving in the military, that I learned the real history of the anti-Japanese war. It was our national army that fought for 8 years, and it was our founding father, Sun Yat-sen, who created the Republic of China. As a former Little Pink, I started to question, what is the real China? The People's Republic of China or the Republic of China? Later, I began to question and reject the government I once supported and slowly started to wake up. At that time, I felt really lost. I couldn't sleep at night and every day felt harder. Watching these videos made me realize how painful it is to reject everything I once believed in. So I thought to myself, that if I wanted to wake up, I needed to find proof that would convince me. It wasn't until I learned about the founding fathers and the history of the Republic of China that I realized these were the true Chinese people. Not supporting Marxism-Leninism felt like the right thing to do. That's when I finally broke away. It was a huge turning point for me. Chen Po-yuan also shared that while he didn't enjoy studying in college, he loved music and started writing songs. He created an account that gained over 1 million followers. One of his songs, called China's Boss, became very popular in Taiwan and had 1.3 billion views in mainland China. Later, he wrote another song called Counterattack Mainland. The lyrics say, I want to counterattack the mainland to save the people of China and realize the three principles of the people. This is the true spirit that all Chinese should have. I want to overthrow communism and take back the land that originally belonged to the Republic of China but was occupied. Now the whole world is helping us fight communism, but some people choose to give up. Don't forget who the real enemy is. He's watching us from across the strait, seeing that we're not united. These things happened less than 100 years ago, but I firmly believe that the Republic of China will triumph. Counterattack Mainland is a song I wrote little by little during my awakening, and I cried as I wrote it. I actually finished it a long time ago, but I didn't release it at first because I thought people in Taiwan might not be ready to accept it. Then I noticed that the Kuomintang KMT today is very pro-communist and has completely moved away from Chiang Kai-shek's anti-communist stance. The KMT is getting closer to the CCP and even causing chaos in Taiwan's parliament. I saw that many people were protesting outside the KMT headquarters with around 8,000 people there. I thought since the KMT keeps saying they want to counterattack the mainland, I might as well release the song and sing it right outside their headquarters. When the KMT people saw me singing Counterattack Mainland, they were completely shocked and didn't know how to respond. After going through a big personal change, Chen Po-yuan teamed up with a Taiwanese influencer Ba Jiang in 2024 to create a two-part documentary called China's United Front. It was released on Ba Jiang's YouTube channel on December 6th and 28th last year. The documentary quickly gained 2.9 million views and sparked a lot of discussion in Taiwan. Chen Po-yuan went undercover to Fujian to film how the CCP used the Taiwan Youth Entrepreneurship Park to lure Taiwanese people. They offer 200,000 to 400,000 RMB in investment funds for anyone who registers a company in China. Chen Po-yuan said, "The more money you take, the harder it is to escape the CCP's trap. You'll get more and more stuck in it. Even if you say you're anti-communist while making money from the CCP, your thinking is slowly being influenced by them. The CCP is very good at controlling people's minds. They can make you oppose the CCP but still have you thinking in ways that support them, using the party's logic to criticize its own culture. It's really scary, and it's the reality of most people in mainland China. They can't even realize how much the CCP has shaped their thinking." You've probably been to events like this before. If you want, I can set up a whole month's schedule for you, completely free, with food and accommodation covered. Can I bring other people along, or how does that work? As long as they're from Taiwan, between 18 and 35 years old, or even up to 45, they can come. So, students can come here for free food and a place to stay, and you'll show them how China is developing in different places. What do you need to qualify? No special requirements as long as they're Taiwanese. How many people work here regularly? There are about 20 people working here. Most are involved in cross-border e-commerce. They chose to set up their companies here because of some government subsidies. What kind of subsidies can young Taiwanese get if they come here? They can get startup funds between 50 to 200,000 RMB plus investment money of 200,000 to 400,000 RMB. They don't have to pay it back, it's given to them directly. In another video, Chen Po-yuan visits the Taiwan Innovation and Entrepreneurship Base in Xiamen, Fujian, where he meets a businessman named Lin Cheng. Lin tells Chen that Taiwanese people can get a Chinese ID card in about a month after completing some administrative steps. Once they have the ID, they can get help with things like opening bank accounts, applying for credit cards, receiving various financial subsidies, and even getting large loans. The documentary reveals that over 100,000 Taiwanese people now have Chinese ID cards. Let me give you a quick introduction. Just give me your documents. Don't worry, they won't film anymore. So, do you have a Chinese ID? Wow, this is really a Chinese citizen ID. What about your property certificate? I didn't bring it today. He has a house and a car. I can show you later. Just 2 months ago he had nothing, and now he has everything. If you ask me what he has achieved in China, did you invest any money? No. Did you get any money? Yes. You didn't have to pay anything and you still got money. If I get a Chinese ID, will Taiwan take away my citizenship once they find out? We asked the leaders here in China and they said it's not considered dual citizenship. Taiwan is just a region and any Taiwanese can get a Chinese ID. But the condition is that you have to complete your political tasks first. It's important to note that after the documentary was released, Chen Po-yuan started receiving a lot of threatening phone calls. Some people kept asking where he was, and others even made death threats. Chen Po-yuan said that since he had made the choice to wake up and take this path, he's not afraid. On December 19th last year, Voice of America published an article titled, "Taiwan Influencer Goes Undercover to Expose CCP's United Front Strategy Using Taiwanese Intermediaries." The article interviewed 3 experts and scholars who explained the CCP's pervasive United Front tactics against Taiwan. One of the experts, the founder of Taiwan's semiconductor company United Microelectronics Corporation, Cao Cheng, said, "The CCP's so-called United Front is about allying with secondary enemies to strike the main enemy. We must recognize that the Chinese constitution clearly states that for class enemies who oppose its system and ideology, continuous struggle is required." The documentary highlights a big issue for Taiwan today. The CCP has been very successful with its United Front tactics. More and more Taiwanese people not only fail to recognize their sovereignty but also support the CCP's idea of a national rejuvenation. However, people like Liu Xiaoya, who just stepped down as China's ambassador to France, have repeatedly said that once China takes Taiwan, they'll re-educate all Taiwanese and wipe out all pro-independence supporters, leaving no one alive. So, the Taiwanese should not have unrealistic expectations about the CCP's United Front strategy. There's no normal communication between Taiwan and China, only United Front tactics. So-called normal communication would only happen if the CCP respected Taiwan as a sovereign and independent country. Respect is the basis for communication. Today, the CCP is like a virus, constantly trying to invade us until we're dead. In this situation, Taiwan should avoid contact, negotiations, and any compromise. Chen Shimin, an associate professor of political science at National Taiwan University, said in an interview with Voice of America, "There's a saying in the Taiwan Strait issue, it's better to buy Taiwan than to fight Taiwan. The documentary shows how the CCP is using money to win over Taiwanese people. Even though the offers are generous, it's still much cheaper than going to war." The CCP has been working for a long time to attract young people from Taiwan, encouraging them to go to China to make money. The main goal is that when elections or other sensitive moments come up, they can use these people to sway public opinion in Taiwan. What's worrying is that in recent Taiwanese elections there have already been signs of CCP interference. But the documentary also shows that even the Taiwanese pro-unification supporters know that unification with China isn't a good option. In simple terms, this is one way the CCP is trying to buy Taiwan. While it's not entirely ineffective, it's still very hard to make the entire Taiwanese society accept the CCP's way of thinking. Taiwan has become more aware and cautious about these tactics. Gongzi Shen, the host of a political YouTube channel in Toronto, pointed out that the documentary mentions key figures and political parties from Taiwan's pan-blue camp, like People First Party Chairman James Song, the Kuomintang KMT, and the New Party. This isn't surprising, as these groups have openly admitted to being involved in the CCP's United Front work. On the other hand, the Taiwanese government has allowed their activities in silence, as they want to keep communication channels open with China. Many local Taiwanese pro-unification supporters believe their actions are helping maintain peace across the Taiwan Strait by showing goodwill to China, hoping to avoid Taiwan's annexation. However, when dealing with the CCP, this kind of thinking is clearly too naive. The point of the documentary is to expose the true nature of these Taiwanese pro-unification supporters and make us realize that their actions don't bring peace. Instead, they make Taiwan more vulnerable and increase the risk of it being overtaken by the CCP through infiltration. These Taiwanese who enjoy the freedoms and social services in Taiwan are still trying to hand Taiwan over to the CCP, which is essentially like trying to make a deal with a tiger. In the end, those who work to help the CCP unify Taiwan will eventually be abandoned by the CCP once they are no longer useful. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, or share it with your friends. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.